Great.
Thank you very much for being here. We're a little short on time, so because I'm going to leave about 7:30, so I want to make the most of it because this is really a privilege to have you here, and I appreciate it. This is defense attorney Kevin J. Mahoney, who's had some really insightful articles on his website about this case. So just go to his website, guys, if you want to see him. Kevin, I wanted to ask you first, and you can talk about anything, but what do you think about this defense strategy of really zeroing in on Jen McCabe?
I'm going to guess that the defense, which seems to have an unlimited budget, has been investigating her for at least the past year, 2 years. And who knows what they might have dug up on her. I would have to think that they have something on her if they're focusing so much of their attention on her. Now, you would ask yourself, well, wouldn't they have to turn that over to the prosecution? But if a defense attorney hires an investigator and the investigator has something that we consider significant, we simply don't have the investigator write a report. And then we have no obligation under Rule 14 to turn anything over to the court.
So, and they just haven't testified.
So they might be holding something back. They seem to have been very strategic in what they've leaked, and I have a friend of mine who is in possession of what he believes to be some bombshell evidence disclosed to him in confidence, and he could not tell me what that bombshell evidence, what it entailed. But I trust this source, and he told me that if he were on the jury, he would never be able to convict Karen Reed.
Based on this bombshell evidence.
Based on the evidence. So I don't know if that evidence has been disclosed. I don't even know if that evidence exists. But I trust the source.
Yeah. It's interesting. I mean, it hasn't been disclosed. I mean, we've seen all the evidence. I don't consider anything that's been leaked out or publicly put out in the documents or in the hearings and the motions as bombshell that shows the conspiracy.
And then as far as like the strategy of cross-examining her, she's not someone who is used to being on the stand with some of the officers in this case. So if you're going to cross-examine a witness, what you want to really start with is your most important, most damaging cross-examination material, and you want to hit her with that right in the beginning. Now, if they have something on her that they have not yet disclosed, that's what they should start with, and really rattle her. That's what I would anticipate they're going to do.
And so they'll do it on cross. So after the prosecution calls them, they'll hit her right away with that cross-examination questions and evidence that they have on her.
That would be a sound strategy, because once a witness loses her equilibrium, the rest of the testimony, cross-examination, they're rattled. They don't perform well. I don't quite understand what their strategy is unless they're in possession of something more material that they have not disclosed. From what I understand, and just so your audience understands this, Kevin Reddington is a friend of mine, and he has told me unequivocally that she's a really nice person, a really, really genuinely nice person, and that this has affected her family, obviously, in a very tough way. He would never lie to me. So if he tells me that she's a really nice person and absolutely, positively innocent of all these allegations, I believe him. And I know that he's a top attorney. He's an incredibly, incredibly gifted trial attorney. And I'm guessing that he's probably spent some time trying to get her ready for what they might spring on her.
Yeah. All right. I mean, it's just in order for her to be presented in order for her to play her part in this conspiracy theory that they're doing, she has to have known when they sent her home, that John was still clinging to life inside the house, and that the plan was to put him out on the lawn alive. And to me, that strikes me as kind of an absurd theory. But even just if that is the theory, what kind of person would Jen McCabe have to be to do that? And her health app data shows that her heartbeat did not go up at all at home. Her heartbeat remained normal.
They are basically trying to portray her as the Cersei Lannister of Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
What are they going to use against her? I'm guessing that they've had an investigator tailing her. Apparently, she's developed some sort of relationship with the Proctor family.
Yes.
I'm guessing they're going to bring that up in cross-examination.
Mm-hmm.
And what else they have on her, I'm really not sure.
And what about the federal aspect of this? That must be something that just, as an attorney, just fascinates you. Do you have any thoughts on what's going on with the feds, how they get involved in this, what they're up to, even the strange kind of threat they made against the judge to take this over? A lot of weird stuff there, right?
I know David Gannetti. I do not know him that well. We were assistant TAs together, I don't know, 30 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I ran into him at the Charlestown District Court about a year ago, and at that point I knew nothing about Karen Reed. I hadn't even heard about the case.
Mm-hmm.
And I can tell you that based on that conversation, I believe that he believed, at least at that time, that his client was innocent. He is 100% convinced his client was innocent and being framed.
Mm-hmm.
It's always been my impression that David Gannetti is a good guy,
Mm-hmm.
that an above-board guy. Now, with regard to this particular defense, I don't quite understand what he's doing.
So you find it unexpected, to say the least.
I would say unexpected. It would be the correct word. I would not have anticipated that he might have been involved with somebody named Turtle Boy. That's simply not the way that I've ever seen him conduct himself. I've always had the highest regard for David Gannetti. I've always thought he's a really good attorney. On the occasions where I have talked to him, I've always enjoyed it. I've always thought he's a great guy. And most of the defense bar loves him.
Thank you very much, Kevin, and I hope you'll come back again. It was really good to have you.
Thank you for inviting me.